Good afternoon and the warmest of welcomes to Velocità Circuit in Mogi Guazú in Sao Paulo State in Brazil. We are kicking off the first race in this 8th round of the season of 2025 TCR South American Championship and TCR Brasil BRB Bank. That is certainly a big challenge we have today with a very hot afternoon this Saturday afternoon that will lead us to race number 1 following the pole position set earlier by Leonardo Reis in this really beautiful landscape in the middle of Sao Paulo State, one of the largest states and cities in the world. Mogi Guazú, which is now taking us into round number 8. 29 Celsius degrees, certainly hot temperature, 84 Fahrenheit degrees. We have 41 Celsius degrees on track, which is equal to 105 Fahrenheit degrees, with loads of humidity, as you can perceive, and therefore challenging conditions for this afternoon for race number 1 that we have Leonardo Reis, as I'm saying, on a pole position following his superb job in the qualifying session. As here you see the entrance for this race. We have Juan Angel Rosso, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Marianian Cotter with engine swaps and therefore dropping 12 places each back in the grid. Nelson Piquet Jr. did so after setting pole position for race number 2 that will be held tomorrow. We'll have Leonardo Reis and the standings leader Leonel Pernilla on front row today. As you can see, it's a cloudy afternoon, but certainly yet difficult and tough for the physical condition of the drivers, for the cars, and therefore we have a very exciting race ahead of us. We'll enjoy it all around the world as the starting grid is slowly shaping up with this 14-car round.
Boa tarde,
We
aqui
welcome our peer
diretamente do
reporter,
grid da
Letícia
corrida
Datena.
1 desse fim de semana de TCR aqui no Velocità. Essa é a segunda visita da categoria ao Brasil, lembrando que a gente vem de uma etapa em Curvelo. Essa é a 8ª etapa da TCR South America e a segunda da TCR Brasil. Hoje de manhã nós já tivemos o quali e nessa disputa pela pole position, quem se deu melhor foi o piloto brasileiro em sua segunda disputa pela pole position apenas, ou seja, um piloto rookie estreante, Léo Reis. Ele ainda não chegou aqui no grid, mas eu vou aproveitar e vou falar com Pedro Cardoso, que defende o título. Pedro, conta pra gente, você chegou a liderar em algum momento aí no quali, acabou não encaixando a volta, mas uma boa posição de largada.
Com certeza. Primeiro de tudo, bem feliz de estar de volta aqui no Velocità. Eu amo essa pista, qualquer categoria que a gente vem, é sempre muito legal de andar aqui. E sim, foi assim, até agora um final de semana bom, a gente está com um ritmo bom. Na classificação eu não fiz a pole, na minha opinião, por culpa minha. Eu tinha totais condições de ter feito, mas nas minhas duas voltas do Q2 eu errei no setor 3. E, bom, mas largar em terceiro é sempre positivo. Acho que é importante fazer uma boa largada. Meu maior concorrente do campeonato está largando em segundo. Então, só que ele tem muito mais pontos do que eu. Então ele tem mais que perder do que eu. Eu vou ser agressivo, vou pra cima. E se Deus quiser, eu vou conseguir ganhar, ou enfim, um pódio. O importante é conseguir mais pontos que ele.
Tá certo. Boa sorte, eu volto com vocês.
Says Pedro Cardoso with our pit reporter Letícia Datena. As we have some most of the cars, I would say, already on the grid already. We can count 10 out of the 14 cars. Remember, Thiago Pernilla is not available this weekend to us. He had some logistic issues on his journey to Brazil, and therefore he's not competing in this weekend. As we are on board with Juan Angel Rosso, one of the onboard cameras we have for this race. Also with the online streaming too. If you want to share the full race with the driver, of course you can stay with us in the meantime. In parallel, here is Leonel Pernilla, father of Thiago Pernilla. As you see, that yellow car is Leonardo Reis, heading to his front row spot on pole position after scoring a marvelous pole position before the race starts in a matter of 5 minutes or a bit less, I would say. We are sharing this weekend with Brazil's Formula 4 and also the very powerful and prestigious Stock Car Brasil. This is the second round of TCR Brasil season. 8th round for TCR South America, Banco BRB. Second stop of the 4 we have in Brazil. We have the remainder of the season to be run here in Brazil.
Bom, a gente já tem a presença do Léo Reis aqui no grid, que é o pole position, mas eu vou falar agora com o líder do campeonato da TCR South America, Léo Pernilla. Léo, ¿qué pudiste colectar de dados de la mañana? ¿Has cambiado alguna cosa para el coche, para esta carrera? ¿Está todo bien con el coche?
No, todo bien, la pista está muy bien. Creo que el clima está mejor que al mediodía cuando clasificamos, está un poquito más fresco, y eso es importante para el ritmo del auto. Leo hizo una gran clasificación, lo mismo
Leo did a
Pedro,
marvelous
estuvimos
qualifying
los tres muy
session.
apretados
The
en el
same Pedro
tiempo
did.
y bueno, eso
We're all
hace
very
pensar que
tight.
va a ser una carrera también muy apretada y se va a
makes me
definir
think it will
mucho
be
en
a
la
very
largada,
tight
así que hay
race.
que estar atento a ese
We have
momento
to
de
be
la
very
carrera.
focused on the starts and
Suerte,
let's see the development of the race.
defendiendo ahí la lideranza del campeonato.
Dale, gracias, un beso muy grande a mi hijo Thiago que está viendo la carrera de Argentina, se perdió la fecha y bueno, prontamente va a volver y eso es bueno para todos.
Muchísimas gracias, suerte. Volto com vocês.
Leonel Pernilla. Thank you, Leti. Leonel Pernilla sending his support also to his son Thiago, who missed this round with some logistic issues as we mentioned, and also saying that he seems and feels confident, but he has to watch on the development of the race. Marcos Regadas back on the series, back in track. On car number 27 with a good qualifying. Leonardo Reis, the 21-year-old, in his second ever TCR South America events on pole position. Damian Fineschi, one of the engineers, speaking with Pedro Cardoso on the light blue shirts. The press officer of the series, Santiago Di Pardo, who does a huge job on the series alongside his Brazilian colleague Luis Ferrari, both leading media crew of this TCR South America Championship. Leonel Pernilla here, the comfortable leader of the season. If my maths don't go wrong, he could seal the title in the next round to be taken, to be raised in the end of November, mid-November and mid-December. Both rounds to be held in Brazil, as we explained. 3 minutes already remaining to the start of the race. Sebastián Martino walking the middle lane on the grey polo shirts, speaking prior to the beginning of the race. The team owner, director, both roles on Honda YPF Racing, the team that was previously known as the Squadra Martino. A team that might be eyeing the chance of an international experience later in 2026.
A galera já pode deixando o grid. Ali o Pedro Cardoso, o Rafa Peix. E o Léo Reis, que nada tem a ver com o Rafa Reis. É verdade, ele é irmão de um outro Rafa Reis que corre na Stock. Tá no 301. Ok? Subiu a placa de 1 minuto. Placa de
1 minute remaining and the formation lap will start.
Vai rodar o grid.
That's Leonardo Reis on pole position in the yellow and black Cupra. The white and blue Honda in second place is Leonel Pernilla. Pedro Cardoso in the Peugeot on third place. In fourth is Rafael Reis. In fifth we have Fabián Gianantonio on the Lincoln Co. Behind is Gennaro Raceto. Marcos Regadas in seventh. Here is Reis, 21 years old.
Bandeira verde, rodou, volta na apresentação,
And here is the formation lap going ahead. Let's have a look at the starting grid, as we said, with Leonardo Reis, the 21-year-old from Brazil for W2 Pro GP, 293 his car. The Cupra. The second place is for Leonel Pernilla of Honda YPF Racing. PMO Racing's Pedro Cardoso starting in third, driving his Peugeot. Fourth place for Rafael Reis, old brother of Leonardo Reis. Fabián Gianantonio is in fifth for Paladini Racing, followed in sixth place by Gennaro Raceto, the Argentinian, for PMO Racing. Same team for Marcos Regadas, starting in 7th position. 8th for Enzo Gianfrati, leading alongside Regadas the TCR Trophy Division for G Racing Motorsports. Honda YPF Racing's Mariano Pernilla starting 9th, ahead of 10th placed Adrian Chiriano for Honda YPF Racing. 11th place for Fernando Croce, who is back in duties with Port Hack Racing in a Honda, followed by Juan Angel Rosso, demoted to 12 for the engine swap. The same for 13th placed Nelson Piquet Jr. and closing the starting grid on 14th place is Maria Nienkotter. Here's Nelson Piquet Jr. on his way to the grid.
Vai passar a bandeira verde, vai pintar a placa de 5, vai acender, a luz vai apagar e vai valer. TCR, segunda etapa no Brasil.
The grid is shaping up. Green flag waving in the background, and we'll kick off one more race in TCR South America. Leonardo Reis in the yellow Cupra starting on pole position, followed by Leonel Pernilla. The lights are red and we go racing in Velocità. Reis has stalled. Leonardo Reis has stalled on the grid and he's overtaken by the whole field. Everybody could move beside him as Leonel Pernilla takes the lead ahead of Cardoso. Gianantonio battling for third place with Rafael Reis. Both cars are coming together into turn 1 And now we have Reis in third place, Rafael Reis, as Leonardo Reis suffered a massive setback. He's been overtaken by almost the whole field. Behind 10th place he's fallen, and now it's a side-by-side battle between Lionel Pernilla and Pedro Cardoso. Pernilla holding on to the lead. Cardoso goes on the outside, trying to overtake the Honda. He will have the inside line in the next turn, and Cardoso now jumps into the lead. Nice move by the Brazilian over Lionel Pernilla, who now wants to counter-attack, but Cardoso went into the inside early and sealed the first place under his arms, and now Pernilla will battle as Reis is also trying to catch Lionel Pernilla for second position as we go through now second sector, and now it's a tidy start as far as now. But anyway, there's still a lot at stake in this opening lap, in this 25-minute plus 1 lap race in Velocità. Here is Pedro Cardoso leading the race, about to go into the main straights to close the first lap of the race. Leading for a whole second of gap over Lionel Pernilla, as we have Rafael Reis in third place, Gian Antonio in fourth, Regadas in fifth, Gianfrati, Rasetto, Piquet Jr. and Mariano Pernilla ahead of Leonardo Reis, who fell back into 10th place. A big setback for Leonardo Reis, possibly having some issues with the clutch as he tried to start the race from pole position. Regadas battling with Gian Antonio, Marcos Regadas, a really rough driver on track to battle for a position with. Nelson Piquet Jr. already up into 8th as he wants to overtake Gennaro Rasetto. At the same time, Gianfrati is ahead of him in 6th. Marcos Regadas leading TCR Trophy from 5th position overall in the race. Let's go on board with Piquet Jr. Brief on board run with the Brazilian. Gianfrati having a look at the inside of Regadas, but still remaining in 6th. Cardoso seems to have a good pace today. Pernilla suffering with a bit of compensation weight that he carries for this event. $30 kilos for Leonel Pernilla, the same for Juan Angel Rosso, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Rafael Reis. Thiago Pernilla was carrying 40 kilos, but as we explained, he's not racing in this weekend. Mariano Pernilla lost a few places. Lost to Leonardo Reis and Juan Angel Rosso. Behind here we have Chiriano, Nienkotter. Maria Nienkotter wants to go to the inside against Chiriano, and it's a big battle in TCR Trophy. Nienkotter found the space and dived into the inside. Very good move by the 19-year-old from Brazil. She certainly crafted the spot for her and overtook Chiriano. Risky move, but it paid off for sure, and now she's up into 12th position. Fabian Gianantoni here in 4th place, defending from Marcos Regadas. Rafael Reis in 3rd, trying to push on Leonel Pernilla for 2nd. Tight race. That's Pedro Cardoso. Here Leonel Pernilla, 3rd place for Rafael Reis. Gian Antonio, Regadas, Gianfrati, Rasetto, Piquet Jr., Reis and Rosso. The top 10 as far as now as it stands. Enzo Gianfrati. We go on board with Juan Angel Rosso from 10th place. Chasing Rafael Reis. Pedro Cardoso leading comfortably for over 2 seconds and a half. Comfortable lead for him. Lionel Pernilla in second, but losing track to Cardoso visibly. Here they are completing one more lap. We have 4 laps completed. Cardoso leading for 3 seconds. Solid pace he's having, almost half a second quicker than everybody else on track. Pernilla losing 5/10 in the last lap. General Raceto on screen holding 7th place from the attacks of Nelson Piquet Jr. Here Pernilla, you can see he's stucking and retaining a bit of the field. You can see that Cardoso is getting farther and farther ahead. Despite now Pernilla has cut 4/10 in sector 1. And Pernilla running away from a race, but you can see there is a big queue forming up behind the car number 44. That means Cardoso might be doing his race without big troubles. Also leading the way in TCR Brasil ahead of Rafael Reis and Fabian Gianantuoni. TCR Trophy is being led by Marcos Regadas, followed by Gianfratti and Nien Cotter. We've already completed a third of the race. There's Fabian Gianantuoni. Lionel Pernilla here in second place. Has reduced a bit the gap to Cardoso, but certainly behind him is Rafael Reis, as they are both pulling away from Fabian Gianantuoni. You can see Cardoso already once again pulling away and increasing a bit the gap. As there is Regadas battling with Gianantuoni. Regadas wants to overtake Gianantuoni for 4th place, going into the inside with the Peugeot, and Regadas moves a spot ahead of Gianantuoni. He wants to pay back Gianantuoni, and now he loses the battle against Regadas. Enzo Gianfratti also with an upperkin in the neck, fork and knife in hand, also trying to overtake Gianantuoni, but Regadas has moved up a place. Gianantuoni tried to strike back, but it was not possible. Now we have the two Peugeots in first and fourth, separated by the Honda of Pernilla and the Cupra of Rafael Reis. You can see here the whole line of cars formed by Lionel Pernilla. And then Gianantonio also retaining Gianfrati, Rasetto, Piquet Jr. and Leonardo Reis. It seems Gianantonio has lost a bit of track. The last lap was quite slow, 9/10 of a second slower than the leaders, and now 2 seconds actually slower than Pedro Cardoso as Adrian Chiriano comes into the pits. I think he has a puncture or something wrong in the front right tire. Couldn't see if it was braking issues or something else, as Marian Nienkotter jumping over the curves. The Toyota of Cobra Racing. Pedro Cardoso is now running still quicker than everybody else on track, but 1:35.0 is his best lap. His last lap, his best one was 2 seconds slower, so this does mean that the heat might be a big issue today, despite it was improved compared to the qualifying session, as Lionel Pernilla explained prior to the race. Rasetto holding tightly to 7th place, ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Leonardo Reis, who is here chasing the Honda. Locking up the brakes was Rasetto. "12 minutes remaining, another 4/10 of a second pulled away by Cardoso. 1:35.0 against 1:35.4. 35.7 did Reis. Regadas 35.5. Let's come on board with Piquet from 8th place. Here's Juan Angel Rosso, who is in 10th position. Go on board. Gianfrati here in 6th place, ahead of Rasetto. It seems Gianantonio is holding up the field a bit. Leonardo Reis there trying to go to the inside against Piquet Jr., but certainly couldn't produce any kind of move. You can see that everybody is very, very close to each other. We have less than a second of gap between Gianantonio, who is in 5th, to Rosso in 10th. They are all separated each other by less than a second. Pedro Cardoso still managing the gap between him and Pernilla in the range of 2.5 or 3 seconds. Rafael Reis comfortably in 3rd. Here is the chance for Pedro Cardoso to cut a few points on the lead of the championship to Lionel Pernilla. Cardoso trying to stay alive in the battle for the title he is defending. As you can see, here is the standings as it stands in TCR Brasil. Pedro Cardoso here taking the curves aggressively. Closing one more lap, 135.9, and it's really visible how the pace of the cars is dropping a bit. Gennaro Rasetto now going in the inside against Nelson Piquet Jr. trying to overtake him for 7th, and Piquet's breaking long. Nice battle between the two. Rasetto in the inside, Piquet goes aggressively on the outside, and now he has the inside line in the next turn. Rasetto holds onto the place. Reis wants to take advantage of that battle, and certainly he does. Piquet goes into the inside. It's a nice battle between the three of them, and Piquet's now losing to Leonardo Reis. Yes, he did. Rasetto stayed in 7th, but now Leonardo Reis is up into 8th place. Nelson Piquet Jr. demoted to 9th place. Now Reis going into the inside with Rasetto. Slight contact, and Reis goes through. I think he'll have to give back the place. Now Rasetto wants to resist and strike back for 7th place. Very nice battle after 10 laps completed in Velocità. And Reis now heads into 7th position. Gianfratti says thank you very much and pulls away from all the pack in 6th position, chasing the lead of TCR Trophy. Leonardo Reis are now up into 7th. Rasetto in 8th. Piquet in 9th. And Juan Angel Rosso back in 10th place. Let's go on board with Piquet Jr. with Juan Angel Rosso once again. Nelson Piquet Jr. here, still in 9th place. The pace of Cardoso remains in the lower 135.1. 7/10 cleared from Pernilla in the last lap. Now the gap is 3.3. As long as it's not been in the whole race. Rasetto still in 8th place behind Piquet Jr. as Leonardo Reis pulled away from him. Gianfratti trying to catch Fabian Gianantuoni. Here is Piquet going in the inside against Rasetto, and he wins back the place, but Rasetto has the inside line as they go into turn 12, entering the main straight, and it will be a nice battle once again. Piquet will have the braking line when they go through into turn 1, as now the Honda seems to be ahead of the Peugeot. And yes, it's once again Piquet and Rasetto battling. Rasetto breaks along on the outside. Risky move by Rasetto. He holds up on the outside line, but Piquet remains ahead of the Peugeot. Rasetto still battling for that spot. Very nice battle in Velocità, but it was a risky braking by car number 66, the young driver from Argentina. Both locking up the brakes. 5 minutes remaining in Velocità. Fabian Gianantuoni still in 5th place. Here's Leonel Pernilla in second position. Rafael Reis remains in third.
TCR Brasil, ele só faz o treino.
Pedro Cardoso here leading the race, and now the battle between Reis and Gianfratti. Leonardo Reis caught Gianfratti for sixth position. It's a tight battle. Leonardo Reis, who scored pole position and then stopped on the grid, stalled on the grid in the starts. He's trying to recover places. He wants to catch sixth place from Gianfratti. There is Leonardo Reis, the 21-year-old, against a youngster like Gianfratti. Also, two young Brazilian drivers, promising drivers in touring cars. Two minutes remaining. We are in the last part of the race, and it remains just as it started, with Cardoso leading from Leonel Pernilla and Rafael Reis. Regadas comfortably in fourth, but the battle is here for sixth position between Enzo Gianfratti in the white Cupra and Leonardo Reis in the yellow and black, or yellow and petrol blue. Both battling, and Reis goes into the inside, switching the line all the time. Gianfratti defending firmly as Piquet now joined the battle. And this could end up in some tangling. Piquet Jr. on the outside wants to overtake Leonardo Reis, taking advantage from the battle. We go on board. Pedro Cardoso now leading the race in 30 seconds behind is Leonel Pernilla, leading the tournament as Cardoso is about to lap Fernando Croce, whose best lap was 5 seconds slower than the other lap, the fastest lap of Pedro Cardoso. Gianfratti remains ahead of Reis and Piquet Jr. 6th, 7th and 8th place. Now there is Reis battling once again as we are on the final lap of the race, overtaking Gianfratti. Leonardo Reis jumps up into 6th place, but Gianfratti will strike back. Piquet wants to take advantage of the battle also and see if he can overtake the two of them. Breaking into the inside, he will go for Gianfratti, and Nelson Piquet Jr. jumps into 7th, demoting Gianfratti to 8th. Leonardo Reis is there, as Rosso has overtaken Rasetto too for 9th place. It's the final lap of the race. Oh, Rasetto has spun off. Gennaro Rasetto has spun off the track. And Pedro Cardoso is here taking the checkered flag, and he wins in Velocità. Solid win by the reigning champion, trying to stay alive in the battle for the championship. Lionel Pernilla finishes in 2nd place. Rafael Reis completes the podium. And here's Marcos Regadas, who finished in 4th and won TCR Trophy in his return to the series. Solid performance. Pedro Cardoso has won the race ahead of Leonel Pernilla and Rafael Reis. Marcos Regadas won in TCR Trophy, followed by Fabián Gianantonio, Leonardo Reis, Nelson Piquet Jr., Enzo Gianfratti, Juan Angel Rosso, and Mariano Pernilla. Mariano Encoter finished in 11th. Gennaro Rasetto, despite his crash, ended ahead of Fernando Croce and Adrián Chiriano. Here are the cars arriving to the Parc Fermé. Here's our winner, Pedro Cardoso.
Aí, boa. Não, pega a placa, já tá
Very nice race we've had.
Parabéns, Regadas, aqui no seu retorno à categoria. Como é que é já voltar com uma vitória aí na categoria Trophy da TCR?
Foi muito bom, surpreendente. Esse carro é um carro diferente de guiar. Ele é bem manhosinho. Tração dianteira, é um carro difícil. Tem que administrar pneu, não basta ser só rápido, tem que andar ali a corrida toda. E mais importante que eu acho que do que o primeiro lugar foi ter chegado ali em quarto na geral, acompanhando os líderes no mesmo pace. Então, eu estou muito feliz de estar acompanhando os profissionais e conseguir voltar também. Achei que eu ia sofrer mais um pouco, cansei pra caramba, mas foi bom, valeu a pena. Estamos num ritmo bom, vitória, muito bom, obrigado.
Tá certo, muito obrigada. Agora eu vou chamar aqui o Pedro Cardoso, que foi o vencedor da TCR South America, TCR Brasil. Tua primeira vitória na TCR Brasil, Pedro.
É verdade, ano passado eu fui campeão sem ganhar nenhuma corrida. Mas bom, feliz pra caramba. Hoje eu me senti Honda. o que eles tiveram de vantagem o ano inteiro. Hoje a gente conseguiu acertar, graças a Deus a promotora mexeu no BOP, a gente vem falando disso o ano inteiro e a gente estava sofrendo muito e hoje a gente estava igual a eles. O trabalho bem feito da equipe e o meu se prova, né? Então estou muito feliz, agradecer a minha família, minha namorada, meus pais, ao meu patrocinador do RB e a todo mundo que torce. O campeonato ainda não acabou, tá difícil pra caramba. O PNA conseguiu chegar em segundo, então fez bons pontos. Mas, enfim, a esperança é a última que morre e eu estou feliz pela vitória.
Vamos à cerimônia do pódio agora.
We'll go now to the podium ceremony. Here is Rafael Reis and Regadas. This is also TCR Brasil podium.
Não, pra gente você tava escondendo muito.
Ontem eu tava, hoje eu não escondi não.
Cara, eu tomei quase 10ª curva, pô, do...
Porque, tipo assim, eu consigo fazer pro setor 1 e 2 bem pra caralho. Eu tomo meio segundo do Léo Reis.
Não, mas eu também, é tudo aqui na entrada do...
Eu que tava com o pole e eu tava com a ilha. Vale.
É impressionante, o 3 dele é bizarro.
É muito rápido, pô.
Cara, o meu carro, o de vocês não, mas eu preciso parar aqui, na entrada dos boxes, parar o carro. Para o carro, vira.
Eu acho bizarro, porque assim, mesmo fazendo muito lento, parece que ele não vira.
Exatamente, não vira.
Lindo e não vira.
Parabéns.
Obrigado. Como foi?
Terceira...
Traseiro, hein? Vamos ver, hein?
Sí, hola, profesor.
Cola, mude a gola. No principio mude a gola.
Al principio mude a gola.
Sí.
Y ahí...
Sí. Es que te jugás para una parte del circuito o para la otra, ¿viste? Si lo pones bien para la primera parte, te queda agarrado.
Sí, al final no es lo que pasa conmigo. Soy muy rápido en el primer y después acá no me...
You have to choose one half of the circuit or the other one, says Leonel Pernilla. In this cool down room. Saying Cardoso, yes, I agree with you. It was very quick in the first part of the track, but then slowed a lot.
Ele é muito difícil de passar.
Ele é encardido. Ele e o rosto.
Parece que o Nikkei dobra de tamanho.
Ele segurou assim, muito, se ele tivesse
não, ele e o rosto é bizarro. Não, e parece que sempre erra. Passa, só que volta. Fala, caralho.
Cara, o rosto também pra passar é impossível.
Não, os dois, o Nikkei parece que na corrida, meu cara fica...
O Podium Brasil. Anunciamos nesse momento a premiação TCR South-America, corrida 1. Terceiro colocado ao pódio, o brasileiro Rafael Reis. Aguardando Rafael Reis, aí um aplauso para ele. O segundo colocado, Léo Pernilla, Argentina.
Podium forming up with Rafael Reis, Leonel Pernilla, and for PMO Racing, the winner of the race, Pedro Cardoso.
E o primeiro colocado da TCR,
Here comes Damian Finesti representing the team.
O brasileiro Pedro Cardoso,
former touring car driver himself in Argentina. And here is Cardoso.
Pódio composto, vamos ao hino nacional brasileiro.
Brazilian anthem now playing.
Muito bem, anunciamos Felipe Magogli, promotor da...
Now time to give the trophies. Mr. Felipe Magó, promoter of TCR for Argentina and Uruguay, here handing the trophies to Rafael Reis, to Leonel Pernia, and also to the winning team. And of course, last but not least, the race winner, Pedro Cardoso.
Entrega ao vencedor Pedro Cardoso. Parabéns, ergam os troféus em seus lugares. Apresentem para a foto de pódio. Esta foto de pódio, troféu aos seus lugares. Parabéns. Agora, confraternização no lugar mais alto do pódio. Todos no lugar mais alto do pódio. A confraternização e o fair play. Aí está a foto de pódio, fair play. Aplausos. E agora sim.
Here is our picture of the podium with everybody. And we'll have a look at also the TCR Trophy podium.
Marcos Regadas, primeiro colocado da Trophy, ao pódio, ao lado do Pedro. Vamos lá, Marcos Regadas. Aí está, convidamos Frederico Puntieri, presidente da TCR Social-Media-Kanäle.
Now time for the TCR Trophy podium.
Ao piloto, campeão Trophy da corrida 1, Marcos Regadas.
Handed by TCR South America President Federico Punteri.
Obrigado, Frederico. E agora seguimos. Obrigado.
The win for the trophy handed to Marcos Regadas, who won TCR Trophy also. We've completed our first race in this new schedule that takes us through Saturday with qualifying session and also race number 1. And now time for the TCR Brasil podiums. Fabian Gianantuoni takes third place. Rafael Reis in second place. Leonel Pernia does not take part in the TCR Brasil. Once again, PMO Reis in the winning team. Of course, that's because Pedro Cardoso has got the win.
E chamamos também o primeiro colocado TCR Brasil Trophy, Enzo Gianfratti. Ao pódio como vencedor da Trophy, Enzo Gianfratti. Primeiramente convidamos para entregar a TCR Brasil Eduardo Brunoro, nosso vice-presidente da Vicar, para entregar ao terceiro colocado Fabian Antônio. Ao segundo colocado, Rafael Reis. A melhor equipe, PMO Racing. E Eduardo Brunoro, vice-presidente da Bicar, entrega também para o vencedor da corrida TCR Brasil, Pedro Cardoso.
Here are the trophies for Gian Antoni, Reis, and also Enzo Gianfrati winning TCR trophy, since Regadas does not take part in TCR Brazil. Flavio Quick, commercial director of Vicar, the promoting company of the tour of the series.
Exibam seus troféus nos lugares, levantem, sorriam e sejam iluminados aí pelo sol ou pela luz do Velocitar. Parabéns, pilotos. Agora juntem-se ao lugar mais alto, confraternizem-se e depois sim podem o banho gostoso e borbulhante do champanhe no pódio. Aí o aplauso do Velocitar, a TCR Brasil.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's over for today. We'll come back tomorrow with race number 2. Thank you. See you tomorrow.